The fire as of this morning was about little over 1,600 acres. That's burning in the Chiricauhua Wilderness area, approximately 4 or 5 miles, mainly west, maybe a little southwest of Portal, Arizona. And we've had quite a few hotshot crews on the fire and a lot of engines doing structure work around Portal. And we've completed our line, about 37 miles of line around the fire. The fire line is indirect. It's in extremely rugged country and a very remote country. While it's not very far mile-wise, it's a very remote and rugged wilderness area without any roads. So we've had to fly a lot of our crews in there, and not only fly them in there and walk them in there, but also supply them with helicopters. So it's been quite a challenge to just not only get all the people up to the edge of the fire, but also to supply them with food and water. We haven't been using a lot of retardant on it. The retardant drops weren't very effective initially when the fire started. We do have a couple heavy helicopters which work better in these real rugged terrain areas. We do have a mobile retardant plant set up, so we are going to start applying retardant as we start applying fire to try and moderate the fire behavior. We don't want the fire to make a large run and do a lot of damage, so we're going to fire some of the ridges with a helicopter. And because of the ruggedness, we don't feel comfortable putting people in there. It's one of our goals. We don't want to do a lot of resource damage with a real high intensity fire. So in order to prevent that, or one way to prevent that, is to try and not allow the fire to burn uphill. And so we're going to apply fire with a helicopter on a few ridge tops, not get a lot of fire in there, but just start working ridge by ridge. Apply fire to the ridge top and let the fire back off into the canyon. A backing fire has a lot lower intensity than a fire that runs uphill. The local economy is very dependent upon both the South Fork and Cave Creek drainages that are just above Portal that go into these mountains. It's a national birding area and a real significant area for the density of bird population that exists there. That density and diversity of bird population is largely dependent upon the riparian areas found along the bottoms of these canyons, and so we really want to moderate the intensity of the fire in those riparian areas so that we don't do damage and we don't disrupt that habitat that is so nationally renowned as a birding area. The first one of the riparian areas of fire is only a few hundred yards from, and so that's going to dictate that we start this firing operation that we've been discussing. And as far as the homes, the nearest home right now is probably about 2 to 3 miles away from the edge of the fire. So it's not an imminent threat, but a distant threat. We've done a long-term plan for the fire. The fire does involve some areas of habitation, Portal for instance, and then as you go along the eastern side of the Chiricauhua, along the base of the mountain, there are some homes. And then as you go up into the Cave Creek drainage, there's also homes up there. We have done triage around those homes. We are developing a structure protection plan that will help firefighters to locate homes and make sure that they're safe. As the fire approaches, we will put sprinklers on homes and do other things to prevent damage by the fire.
When a small wildfire starts, that's the initial attack. The local firefighters attack it. Once that fire grows into a larger size and it goes beyond the capacity of the local firefighters to put it out, they order in management teams. In this case, because of the fire here in the Cave Creek area and the intensity that we expected this fire to burn, especially with the steep topography, the really windy conditions we could have, as well as that vegetation and the pine stringers and those steep cliffs, there was a real concern that this fire would get down into Portal much quicker than it has. Even at this point, it's still 2 to 3 miles from the community. So in this case, the Coronado National Forest managers made the decision to order a national fire team. In the case, that was the Duggar Hughes Type 1 team, and we came in on Friday, May 29th. When we arrived, our first thing was to start getting organized. We set up a camp down near Rodeo at the Chiricauhua Desert Museum. And so now we're based there. We've had up well over 800 firefighters. Now we're reducing a few because we've finished most of our big operations of building the large fire line. Right now, it's no telling how much longer this fire will burn. Potentially, it still can get down into the homes in Cave Creek, as far up the canyon as the research station. So we're still working down there. The firefighters are there. We're releasing some of the crews who have been up high, but now the crews we're going to keep will be the ones to do those burnout operations. And once again, very slowly, methodical, following the wind conditions. If we have high winds or we expect some kind of front end, we won't burn. So this team will be here for at least another week, and then if necessary, another team will come in and follow us. We're working very closely with Cochise County, with the Border Patrol, the Sheriff's Department, especially the Emergency Management Service folks, the Red Cross, the Douglas Ranger District, Coronado National Forest folks, the State of Arizona Forestry Division, and all of our cooperators, especially here in Portal, where the Portal Fire Department, the Portal Rescue folks have been doing a great job. So we'll have to see where we go from here on, but the main thing is that the idea is to get this fire out as soon as possible, but it may burn as long as up until the monsoon season. It may take the rain to put it out, but hopefully we won't lose any homes, and the work we've done will have great efforts.